Back live at Richmond, where Ken Drome had a problem actually exiting the pits. Apparently he tacked it up a little bit too much and spun it and just made slight contact with the inside wall as the 2000s are getting ready for their 50-lapper. And the pace car out in front, as you can see, they're warming the tires up. 50-lap main event, and this could be very interesting. We saw a number of problems during practice and qualifying earlier today. Jimmy Kianis will be starting up front along with David Pook, Chris Pook's son, outside number 40. And there's Richard Eames in the 95 car, and Jim Guthrie will start outside the second row in 61. Or no, that was, didn't have that right number there, 68. Then Tim Dewitt at 00, and John Philippakis in 61. Mike Dillard and Joaquin De Soto comprise row 4. In the 5th row on the inside, Michael Fitzgerald and Memo Gidley. Gidley now leads the point standings after 2 wins. Lance Norrick, the son of the mayor of Oklahoma City, starts inside row 6. Outside's Larry Connor. Then it's Zach Oraka and Duncan Dayton in row 7. In the 8th row, Bryce Ambrosinas and Steve Keister. Out inside row 9 is Bruno Bianchi and Rick Rushton outside. Larry Vatry and Scott Bradley comprise row 10. In the 11th row, Aaron Shue and Jeff McCuster. The 12th row, David Webb and Ken Drom, if he can get the car back in that position after that slight altercation. Jeff Beck and Gary Simlander, John Groom and Tim Miner in row 14. In the 15th row, Steve Jalabian and Christian Vandal. In row 16, John Ross and Ron Ignatowski. In the 17th row, Keith Hutton and Joseph Gianardi. And here is a look at how they're doing. 9 hours in at Le Mans? And it's the middle of the night over there. And I think we can tell you that Andretti and his team is about...
they're running in 6th right now,
6th position, but they're still about 5 laps off the pace in the Porsche. Bob Wallach, one of his teammates. There's a look at what's happening over there in Le Mans. It's the middle of the night. What about 6 hours, 7 hours different from what we have right now?
And the McLaren seem to have dominated quite a bit. They have the first 3 spots. Jaguar running in 4th position, but the McLaren's really, at one time, I think, held the first 5 positions, actually. So they've been pretty dominant in that race.
You know, we talked about how important it was to use the brain in racing the Silver Crown cars. It's the same thing, guys, racing these cars out here, because that little change in banking to the flat surface coming out of turn 2 really upsets these chassis.
Well, these cars had a lot more trouble in practice and qualifications than did the Silver Crown cars. These cars are not nearly as forgiving. Once they get in there and they get unloaded and they start to spin, they spin much faster. They don't slide around, and you don't catch them near as easily as you do a Silver Crown car. They don't have as great as straightaway speeds, but of course the cornering speeds are greater probably than the Silver Crown cars. So these guys do have to be on top of things. They have to really be careful, especially coming off of turn 2 over there to keep these things underneath them. So it could be a very, very interesting race.
Giannis will set the pace from inside the pole. David Pook alongside in car number 40. Eames and Guthrie in the second row. The pace car's off. We're about to go green for 50 laps as they come up through the gears, pick up the RPMs, and Giannis grabs the lead in that green and white number 9. Pook rides in second. Look at 3-4 wide into turn 1. Nice wide racetrack. These guys should like it. They have to be careful now coming through that second corner with a 14-degree banking. Then levels off there down the backstretch.
Some of those cars got a big run back there. They got on the gas way before some of the guys up in the front. Look at this. 4 wide going through down here. Narrows back up into 2 and 3, but still, this racetrack is a very, very nice racetrack. Gives these guys a lot of room to make moves like that.
And with the horsepower they have, this, I would have to think, except for perhaps over there in turn 2, is almost flat out.
Yeah, they're running pretty well flat out. They have to get out of the throttle a little bit, getting into 1, maybe just a little bit into 3, but they don't get out of the throttle too much. You have to keep a momentum up. It's a momentum racetrack for them. Once you get out of the throttle and kill that momentum, it really hurts you. You really lose a lot of spots.
Once again, they work into 14-degree banking right there in turn 1 into turn 2. The track then flattens out, and the only straight portion of the racetrack is right down here, really a short straightaway on this 3/4-mile D-shaped racetrack.
A short back straightaway, it only takes about 3 to 4 seconds to go down that straightaway. All the rest of the time, you're in a bind, you're in a turn. As you see right there, you saw it go over a bump, and the sparks fly down there. I think those Kenneths went over that bump. Sparks flying down there, getting into turn 1. It's probably a little bit higher than he ran the last lap, but it didn't do the sparks last lap.
Well, we've talked about the sparks like of Winchester. It can be very disconcerting to a guy who's running directly behind the guy who's starting to bottom out. But the lighting here at Richmond, just tremendous. It is so bright, it's just like racing about 12 o'clock, 2 o'clock in the afternoon.
Well, of course, they got lights down on ground level. They got lights up high. They got lights everywhere. And it is a well-lit facility. You're not going to see very many racetracks more well-lit than this one.
This is one of those situations, though, because the cars are so much alike as far as the chassis and the engine that, you know, it may be one thing catching a driver, it's something else actually getting by.
Well, as you see right here, these two guys battling each other. Nobody can really make a move. They can pick up, they can catch up. They can't really make a move, though, once they catch up to them.
Number 15 we're looking at.
Oh, look at this car wiggle. It was Guthrie down there on the inside, I think, that's giving them a big wiggle.
68 was Guthrie.
Trying to pull down inside there. Couldn't make it underneath him. And these cars aren't very forgiving. As I said earlier, once you make a wiggle like that, usually it's hard to catch one of these little cars. The weight bias is a lot different than a front-engine race car.
And, of course, that is why USAC has this division, because they really want to give drivers and crew members a chance to work on rear-engine cars to get that experience in the effort to move up.
That's right. These guys are really, you know, they're learning a lot. This is what they all want to move up into IndyCar racing. That's why USAC created this division, or started this division, to give these guys a chance to get that kind of experience. Look, they're coming off the corner. They almost got together. That was the 19 car, the black car on the inside there. It almost got together. He's in 6th position.
Tim Dewitt is in that black number 0 car on the right side of your screen as those three run very close together down the backstretch. Tim Dewitt now in 6th position in the double 0. I think that's Guthrie right in front of him in 68.
Guthrie's been working very hard there for quite some time, trying to get around the 95 car. Richard Eads is right in front of him. Just can't quite seem to be able to find the spot to get around him. He's running a nice, smooth line. Oh, right there. Almost had a problem going down the back straightaway.
Now your leader trying to get by the 20, is it 24 car?
Yeah, trying to get around him, and he just doesn't seem to be able to find any place to get around him.
I'll tell you what, these numbers are very hard to read on this racetrack. As bright as it is in the racetrack, it's very, very difficult to read.
Well, the numbers are very, very small. That's why it's hard to read. They've got the little wings on the back. It's about the only place on the race car where you can see the numbers, and if you don't get a good side shot of those, you just can't read them. Giannis there leading the race.
That's David Pook running second right there in the white and black car. That is the battle for the lead now. 11 laps in the book. They're working on lap number 12, and again, they are running nose to tail. David Pook continues to ride in second. Now, of course, that's a very famous motorsports name. That is Chris Pook's son. Chris, of course, the promoter of the Long Beach Grand Prix.
Right, and David did a very nice job. When he got all tangled up with that lap car, he had a good chance to get around. Couldn't quite make it stick, but he didn't do anything silly. He took his shot. It wasn't there. He just fell back, got back right behind him, and he seems to be actually running a little closer to it now than he was earlier.
But once again, with the power on these cars, it's almost a matter of getting in line, waiting for the guy in front of you to really make a mistake, because unlike the Silver Crown cars, where one may have a lot more horsepower than the other, or a weight advantage, these cars are so evenly matched, it really depends on the guy in the cockpit.
Yes, John Felpakis, that 61 car, that black car there, he's really gotten picked up. He's following these guys pretty closely right now. I think he's up in the 3rd position.
Yeah, he's up in 3rd, moves up in the 3rd position now, but Pook continues to apply the pressure to Giannis. Giannis out of Escondido, California. Pook, of course, from Long Beach, California.
Felpakis coming from 6th starting position up into 3rd. He seems to be the one right now that's most on the move.
Right now they're working on lap 15 of a 50 lap for $10,000 with $3,000 going to the leader. So the racing is hot and heavy and somewhat congested here at Richmond. There's the top 5. We're coming right back. As we come back live to Richmond, we're watching 33. That is Gidley. He has won twice this season. He presently leads the points, but right now he's back in 7th, qualified 10th. And he's back there in 7th position. Now he's moved up to 6th position. There is a good battle for that position. Tim Dewitt was just below him there. So your points leader, a 2-time winner this year out of 3 events, now in 6th position. Pook goes by a lap car, continues to ride in the 2nd position. 20 laps now complete. This is a 50 lapper, a $10,000 purse with $3,000 going to the winner.
Yeah, Poop's in second. Jim Guthrie is still in third. And the 61 car, John Philpake, is still running in fourth position.
There's Gidley in the 33 car. A lot of sparks. The line that he is running, he is showing a lot of sparks.
Well, there is, of course, right going into one, there's a bump up there that these cars, and of course these cars are set up much lower to the ground than, oh, boy, there's a lot of sparks right there. That thing drug all the way through the corner that time.
There you can see the lights on the ground. Just an excellent racing facility here at Richmond.
And of course, Musco Lighting, they've been putting up those kind of lights in a lot of racetracks down in the south, and they've really done a tremendous job. They're expensive, but they're very good lights. You can see right there, again, those top guys running up front. He's really, he's throwing sparks all the way through. He must have the race car so low to the ground, and every time it takes a set going in the corner, something on the right rear just rubs all the way through the corner.
There's Dewitt on the inside, the black 00. The black and yellow 00 makes a nice textbook pass on the inside.
Yeah, he set him up. He's been following him for 2 or 3 laps, trying to get that. Boy, it does look like
a Formula One race.
Yes, it does. It's pretty spectacular going into turn 1.
Well, back up in the front of the pack, it's status quo. Jimmy Kianis out of Escondido, California, in the 9 car continues to run up in front.
David Pook has not lost any ground to him. For a while, he was dropping back, but it seems that right now, he's keeping up pretty good and staying about 3 or 4. Oh,
we have a spin. We have a spin and a yellow flag, and a spin coming through turn 4, and we cannot even tell you what number that is right now. You can see that rear wing has been knocked off. The driver trying to, I think, drive the car back to the pit area. It is car number 46. It is indeed car number 46.
Gary Schwander.
Gary Schwander. He is from Wayne-Scott, New York, and Gary, you can see he's ripped that wing off, but apparently beyond that and a flat left rear, there may not be a lot of damage.
Yeah, it probably looks a whole lot worse than it really is when you have that wing dragging on behind you. Of course,
it may be dragging debris around the racetrack, too. But
well, it doesn't look like it. You know, when all the wheels are turning and, you know, it's not real bad. He's got a flat left rear tire.
Oh, well, there he just ejected the wing. And coming up next weekend, the Loctite Sprint, the Skull Midgets, a big doubleheader from one of our favorite racetracks, Winchester, Indiana. That's on Saturday. Also, the Skull Western States Midgets from Oildale. That's Bakersfield, California. And Sunday, the USAC SCCA Formula Ford 2000s at Watkins Glen, New York. And here's what happens when you're dragging a wing around the racetrack. You just kind of spit off the extra weight as you turn into the corner.
Kind of like Batman hitting the ejection button, isn't it? Boom, gone.
Well, we'll have to send a truck down to pick that one up.
You know, the next Silver Crown race is at Terre Haute, Indiana, the Sumar Classic on July 7th. And, of course, that's the first time they've run at the Terre Haute racetrack for quite some time. It ought to be another big Silver Crown race. I know everybody's looking forward to that.
Once again, he is in the pit area. There's the number 46 wing.
That Sumar Classic is part of a big Indiana Sprint Week, or Speed Week. The sprint cars are Kokomo on Wednesday night, the midgets in Winchester on Thursday, and of course Saturday they will be the sprint cars at Paragon as well as the dirt cars at Terre Haute on Friday night, the 7th of July.
Well, the Pontiac Pace car has led a number of laps under yellow here with both the True Value Silver Crown cars and the Formula 2000 cars. We have at least 2 laps before we go green as they continue to work around the racetrack.
We might make mention of these guys that are in the track crews. They've done a terrific job here. When Jimmy Sills hit the wall up there, there was water and fluid and everything all over the racetrack up there. They were there very, very quickly. They got that fluid cleaned up very quickly. They didn't let it run all the way down the racetrack. These guys have done a very good job in some pretty tough situations.
You know, we've talked a lot over the years about some of our favorite race drivers from years gone by, and Bobby Grimm had to be one of those. Unfortunately, we lost Bobby Grimm last Wednesday, our tribute to him. The year was 1947, and a 23-year-old kid from Coal City, Indiana, Bobby Grimm, landed a ride in one of the best sprint cars in the Midwest, the Hector Honore-owned City of Roses Sprinter, named for the cash crop in Honore's hometown of Pana, Illinois. 6 years later, Honore had a new car, a new sponsor in Bardol, but Grimm was still behind the wheel. This car, which would become known as the Black Deuce, carried Grimm to 186 IMCA feature wins and 4 straight championships. With a Rookie of the Year title at Indy in '59, Bobby earned a starting berth in the next 10 Indy 500s. He was the key driver who helped develop the turbocharged Offie engine in 1966. and was the last to make the IndyCar starting field in a front-engine roadster. His final Indy ride was a 10th place finish in the Gene White rear-engine Offie in 1968. Bobby Grimm survived a near-fatal heart attack a couple of years ago, and for the last few months had fought bravely against cancer. The checkered flag flew on his storied career Wednesday morning.
The Speed World presentation of Saturday Night Thunder has been brought to you by Quaker State, the intelligent oil for longer engine life.
Hey, I want to say thanks to the ConQuest folks for the onboard cameras tonight. Got some great pictures to show you here. If you want to find out the location of your nearest dealer, give them a call, 1-800-492-PART. How about Jimmy Chanas? Started this thing from the pole, has led every lap. We're 30 in, 20 to go, and nobody has yet moved up to challenge the 20-year-old Primus Racing entry out of Escondido, California. 6-year racing veteran, started in the karts. And I'll tell you what, guys, up there in the booth, I talked to him before the race. He's got some previous experience on this kind of racetrack because they have run these cars at Charlotte Motor Speedway and Atlanta Motor Speedway. They run a little different kind of layout there. They put a little chicane-like kink down going into turn 1 on both racetracks. But the fact is, he does have some experience on these big sweeping bank corners. He's putting to good use tonight.
Only chicane we have here is the chicanery after the race, right?
Yeah, that's right.
There's the green flag. We are racing again. 31 laps now complete, 19 laps to go. And Dave, with that experience on that Charlotte track, let's see if we can hold them back.
Keanu, he just jumps out to a lead every time the green flag comes out. He seems to really have things under control. We just saw Phil Haggis who just went around into the 3rd position.
He started in 6th. He's now up to 3rd. That's that black number 61 car. Phil Haggis from Jamaica, New York, rides in the 3rd position now.
He looked very strong after the last restart. Moved up, and then he kind of lost a couple of spots after a couple of laps. So we'll see if he can hang on this time. See if he's as strong. He's running a lot higher groove than anybody else seems to be running, and seems to like it up there.
Well, of course, there's some good rubber left in the Silver Crown race up there, so it may be a good groove for him.
Yeah, you don't want to get too high. Once you run that high groove, you get just a little too high, pick up those marbles, then you're in big trouble. But right now, he seems to be running very good. All four.
It's a good shootout for 2nd, 3rd, and 4th, but right now, Keanu's out in front in that number 9 car with about 10, 12 car lengths now between 1st and 2nd. Here's a battle for the 3rd spot.
Pelicans got high. Guthrie got underneath him as they went in there. He got almost up into those marbles we talked about before, and once he did, Guthrie just went right on by.
At that point there, coming off into the backstretch, he had to pull in behind him, let him have that position. Guthrie moves to 3rd.
We talked about that before, how tight it is over there, and even if these cars are a little bit smaller, it's still tight. It's very narrow, and you've got to give way. You can't run on the outside there too many times, although we did see Jack Hewitt do it a couple of times. Man, oh man, look at this. Still throwing sparks.
That's Gidley in 33, and once again, as we showcased him earlier, he was sparking a lot. So no matter where he runs the racetrack, he's throwing sparks. That car is very low sprung.
He's got the thing pretty low to the racetrack.
Once again, Jimmy continues to lead this thing. Oh man, look at the sparks there. The green and white number 9. There was that bump we talked about entering turn 1. He was on the high side, but continues to dominate. And when I say dominate, the viewer says, well, Gary, he's only out by 6, 8, 10 car lengths, but really on this size of a racetrack, that's the sizable lead.
That's a pretty good lead, and the big thing is they don't seem to be able to catch him. As we take another look at Gidley, he's working very hard trying to get around Enos right there, and he can get right to him. He can get all over the backside of him, but he just can't find a place to get around him.
Gidley is, he almost lost the rear end right there.
Yeah, I just can't see that running a race car that low can help you at all. I don't see how when you're dragging it through the corner all the way through, it's got to upset the suspension. The suspension can't be working right when the race car is dragging the ground.
48 laps now complete, 12 laps to go in this 50-lap event to wrap up our USAC Twins doubleheader here on a special edition of the Thunder Series. Of course, we move back to Winchester, Indiana on Thursday, July the... look how close it is right there as your leader in heavy traffic. We move back to Winchester on July the 6th to see the revamped and much faster and much smoother Winchester Speedway.
Man, oh man, is that tight quarters there?
Well, of course, he had to keep the momentum up, but he had some tight racing through traffic. Number 40, it looks like he just, flew through that traffic jam, just got by for the lead. as we're watching the leader in heavy traffic. Book was able to go by, and now David Book from Long Beach, California, has the lead in that number 40, the black and white car. 10 laps to go.
Bill Hankins moved up into third through all that, too. He got a break through that traffic. He moved up into third. And now then, that Book is out in the lead. It doesn't seem that Kianis is really gaining on him a whole lot. Whoever's out in front seems like they're running almost identical speeds, and Book got that big break through that traffic, and Kianis doesn't seem to be able to gain much ground.
Well, but Book has some traffic out in front of him now with about 9 laps to go, so we could still see another bid for the lead, but it's going to probably come in traffic, as you say, Larry, because these cars are so evenly matched that once a guy gets the lead, well, here comes Book, closes down about, we should say Kianis closes down about 5 car lengths.
Yeah, it looked like Book just got out of the throttle a little bit trying to find a place into that corner. When he did, 2 or 3 car lengths was made up by Kianis.
You know, when you're going through traffic, you make a decision. If it's the right decision, you're a hero. If it's the wrong decision, you're a zero.
That's right.
You've got just a moment to make that decision.
And right here, he's got 2 cars side by side, so he's really in a bind. He got out of the throttle just a little bit. When he did, look at Kianis. He got a big run on him. Now then, Kianis has got a little bit of a better shot going into turn 1.
Inside, there's a sandwich. They get by the lap car, and Book hangs on a lead. Pulls up behind the number 8 car of Jeff Beck out of Libertyville, Illinois. And he'll try to move by on the inside, makes the pass into turn 3. There's about 5, 6 car lengths again between first and second.
Book did a nice job right there making Kianis get down. He got those left tires down below the yellow line. When he did it upset the chassis, he had to get out of the throttle. So Book did a nice job by keeping the preferred line, taking it away from Kianis going into turn 1 in lap 4.
Bacchus continues to run in third position as the laps wind down. Now just over 5 laps to go. They complete lap 45, this time by.
Book again in lap traffic. All those first 4 cars right there together. Look at this, though. Kianis gets on the inside of him. They're get up there.
Almost get together in turn 1.
Book again forced him down to the inside. Now then Kianis gets past. Is that Guthrie that just got around him? I think that's Guthrie that just went around him.
Bacchus is right behind him. Look at this heavy traffic in the waning laps of this race. Now 46 laps complete, 4 laps to go. We're going to have a trophy dash.
Guthrie just took the lead. Kianis went into second. Book went from first to third, all because he got trapped behind that lap car coming off of turn 1. Before he got there, off of turn 4, before he got to turn 1, he had moved from first back into third position. And now Guthrie, who did not seem to have much of a chance to win this race, suddenly is pulled out into about a 5-car length lead. Oh, we got another crash up in turn 4.
And this race may end under yellow with 3 laps to go. A crash in turn 4. The yellow is out. Guthrie, your leader from Albuquerque, New Mexico. Car up against the fence in turn 4, and I don't think we can get this thing back under green.
And that looks like that's Enos. He was running up in the front of the race. He was running in the top 5 or 6 almost the whole race.
Is that 95 or 85? It is 95.
That is Enos. So he was in 5th spot when that happened.
And he's the local favorite from Martinsville, Virginia. Right. He's trying to back the car. Oh, the checkered flag will be coming up the next time around for your leader who rides behind the pace car. So it was traffic that allowed Jim Guthrie out of Albuquerque, New Mexico to take the lead. In fact, in the second half of the race, all the passes came in traffic.
That's right. And sometimes you got a good break. Sometimes you got a bad break. So Jimmy Guthrie did a good job. Chris Pook, Jimmy Kianis, finished second. Chris Pook in third. A great job by both of them. But I'll tell you what, Guthrie was in the right place at the right time.
A win comes, you'll take it any way you can get it, and Guthrie with a big wave, he takes the win. Let's go trackside to Dave Despain.
Congratulations to Jimmy Guthrie with the F2000 victory, and to Jack Hewitt for an inspired win tonight in the True Value Silver Crown Series. Thanks to all those Thunderheads for being here. We've certainly enjoyed coming to this beautiful racetrack to bring you Saturday Night Thunder. Looking forward to Winchester on July the 6th. For Gary Lee and Larry Rice, I'm Dave Despain saying that's it on Saturday Night from Richmond.